Hello, everybody. This is Zero to Hero, how everyday Canadians are getting ahead with real estate. In this show, although we always talk about real estate, we're going to be diving into the success stories of real world people, especially from Canada's elite real estate group, the Council. But in this episode, we got a special guest because we're going to dive into the story, the strategies of what they did to take their business to the next level. So keep in mind, as we always do, this is where you get to know the who, to learn the how, and get what you need to succeed. I'm your host, Daniel Blagrove, and today I am with the Chris Hanna. He is host of the Chris Hanna Show, and he is the CEO of CashFlow Tribe. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Daniel. I'm excited to be here, and I'm curious what kind of questions you're going to throw my way. So I'm very excited.
Well, I got a few questions today. I really hope you're ready because I'm going to throw them right now. So are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Let's bring the heat.
All right. First question. Let me start a little light with you. All right. Talk to me about what you were doing before you joined the CashFlow Tribe leadership team.
So I joined CashFlow Tribe in January of this year, 2021. Before that, I was always in a leadership position throughout my career. I always led teams that were more in the operations space, really focused around the customer experience. But I was always so focused on personal development and the leadership space because I always just wanted to continue to grow to be the best leader I possibly could be. So I always tried to make sure that everywhere I worked was a culture of coaching that I would create. I would attend a lot of different courses and conferences, and I'd always see somebody facilitating a training session. I'd be like, I could do that. I would love to be able to sit there and speak and be able to talk on a particular topic. So I started to realize I need to branch out and create my own side hustle and start doing more speaking. But I'm like, how am I going to ever start in the speaking world? I realized I have to start writing. So I started doing blog posts, got picked up by some associations, eventually started facilitating training and webinars, which led to coaching and consulting. I was really honored to start doing more, and ultimately was named a mover and shaker in customer experience in 2018, a thought leader in 2020. And before I knew it, boom, I found my way to CashFlow Tribe in January of 2021 this year.
Man, that's phenomenal. I think what's really cool about this, it just goes to show you that what you see and what you believe you can achieve, because you just got exposure to other things and then you just started getting curious. And so this is kind of what's, long story short, led you to being the CEO of CashFlow Tribe. And so my next question to you is, what led you to join CashFlow Tribe in the first place? Like, what made you want to be a part of this movement?
Well, it's kind of funny. Like I actually wasn't really looking for an opportunity. I was scrolling through LinkedIn, and I was constantly getting this message from like, hey, you got to upgrade to the premium membership. And they said, here's the 30-day free trial. If you want to do it, I said, fine, I will do it. You've been hassling me enough. I'm going to do it. And so they had this feature where it would tell you like how qualified for a role you might be. And I guess around that time, CashFlow Tribe was looking for a VP of operations. So it spits out this report and it says that I'm in the top 90% of people who would be matched for this particular job. And I was like, 90%, like everything else on there is like 30, 50, like this is kind of weird. So I'm like, well, let me just take a look, see what this posting's all about. And so I read through it. I'm like, well, this sounds interesting, but really struck me at the bottom of it. It said, we're looking for somebody to put a video together to really prove whether they are the right fit for CashFlow Tribe or not. And I said, you know what? They're clearly doing something different here. So I put together my video, had the opportunity to obviously to meet with Ben, and I was just blown away by just the basically the approach, the energy, of course, that he brought, and just more importantly, the impact as that one core value that really stood out. And I'm like, you know what, there's an opportunity here. Hopefully this works out, and luckily it did. And you know, be able to continue to make that impact as we move forward is awesome.
Man, I think you've obviously made such a great impact in CashFlow Tribe over these last 9 months since you've been a part of the team. But, you know, there are so many things that have happened. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs and growths and a lot of opportunities to make things even better. But let me ask you this, as someone who's been a leader of a community such as CashFlow Tribe, or even in past ventures, whether it's your podcast that you run, or it's speaking gigs, or you've consulted other people, tell us of a mistake that you've made that you would say, man, if I could do that over again, I would do it over in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think I leading so many different teams over the course of the last 15, 20 years and trying to do my own stuff. Like there's one thing that keeps coming back, and it's doing it all myself. Like that's such a mistake that you can easily do. Like burnout is real, and like being frustrated is real. And when it really comes to it, like you got to realize you got a team for a reason, and you're actually hurting the team and the growth of others by trying to do it all yourself. And so I think it's about obviously continuing to learn to more empower people to delegate better. If you try and do it yourself, like there was times throughout my career, like I know, like if I go back like 5, 6 years, like there was this problem where like I was trying to do it all myself and then my team wasn't growing as a result. And I'm frustrated that I'm like, why can't people step up? And I'm just doing it all solo, and realize you don't have to do it solo. There might be times where, yeah, you got to step up and do it. But when you actually can get more done by working together as a team is way more important and it's more impactful. That's probably the biggest mistake I think I made throughout my career. And yeah, I'm guilty of it still sometimes too, but it's something that you want to try and get better at that. That's what it's all about as a leader.
That makes perfect sense because I'm a huge Stephen Curry fan. And as a result, I'm also then a Golden State Warrior fan. And one of the slogans that they've had over the number of years is there is strength in numbers. And so I think that really rings true in multi areas, not just in sports, but as well in business, as working in teams and things of that nature. So that makes a lot of sense. And I totally understand that. So one of the things that your journey has encompassed is, really recreating who Chris is, with from one path to another. You've had this way of building up your skills, building upon your past experiences to really add value to the step of the journey you're currently at right now. Can you talk to me a bit about what that transition has looked like for you, like over the last year? Because, from going from not just speaking and consulting, but being a VP, a part of an executive leadership team, to becoming the CEO, that must require a level of personal development that most people haven't taken on. So can you just talk to us a bit about what that journey has looked like for you?
It's been one heck of a journey, and it's crazy to think about how quickly time has passed as well. To be VP to CEO all within a span of 9 months, almost 10 months now, has been crazy. So in order to really, go through that transition, I've had to learn a lot on the fly, to be honest. There's a lot of situations that have popped up. I'm like, well, never encountered that before. And you just kind of roll with it. But it's also been this journey of trying to dive deeper into professional development myself. I listen to a lot of podcasts or audiobooks. If I'm doing anything, like I'm constantly trying to learn and be better. And I've really started to embrace that it's about progress over perfection too, more than anything else. It's about getting better every single day has been so critical and so important. This transition though has been really truly about almost just being so much more fulfilled than at any other point throughout my career too. There's times where you go through life, right, where you're doing a job because it's a job. It's just something to pay the bills. But like I can put in a lot of hours in what we do now, but I don't feel like it's actually work because I enjoy it so much because of just, I know the impact that we're having as a company, but also individually. I feel like there's some impact that I'm having internally with the team too. And that's just been so cool. We're working with CashFlow Tribe.
I think what's really cool about that is what you've done is other people can do. This isn't like a secret pill or a magic bullet or a silver lining. It really does come down to practically reading books, listening to podcasts, like really like leveling up your mindset and your skill set. It does take both, but doing that over a period of time will help you be in a better position. And so I think that's a major takeaway for those who are listening to this podcast.
Well,
so,
and just to interrupt you real quick there, Daniel, like one of the things that I'll do is like every morning I'll sit there over breakfast and I'll be watching a video or I'll be listening to something. Like I'm always trying to learn something every single day. Like if I'm not learning, I feel like I'm not growing.
Right.
Like, and I think that's critical. So like the more conversations you have with somebody, try and pick up something every single day. That's the way I've always kind of looked at it. Just try to get better today than it was yesterday. If you do that, you're going in the right direction.
And that's not addition, that's multiplication. That if you just get 1% better every day, that will add up over a long period of time if you stay consistent with it. So I absolutely agree with that for sure. So then having said that, with what you know now today, in the year that we're currently in, how would you, like, going back to when you had this creative and curious spirit of wanting to venture into these things, how would you have done these things differently, having known now what you know today?
Well, if I go back, even a few years as I started trying to dive into being a speaker and starting to do more training, webinars, even just, even writing, trying to build up your own internal credibility and your own personal brand is hard. And so I think that the thing I probably would tell my younger self is that, like, you probably got to get a mentor. You probably have to have somebody that you can work with who's been there, done that, to really learn from. Like I would go to these conferences, I would see these speakers, and there's times where I probably didn't take enough advantage of connecting with them during or after the event to really learn like, hey, how are they doing that and how are they being so successful? It's the same thing I think when we talk about like CashFlow Tribe in real estate, right? There are people who are very successful in our community, and those who really want to take it to that same level as them, they probably got to connect with them and talk and share and really just grow together and find ways to partner together as well. Like, so I think having that mentor early on as and looking for that in that area of specialization of whatever I'm trying to do would have been the advice I would have given myself.
Well, so are you saying this from the perspective that it compresses time? You're learning from other people's mistakes rather than making your mistakes? Is it a combination of the two and others? Like, what practically and strategically would you say someone can really benefit from taking coaching now rather than taking the long road?
Well, so I eventually did get myself a mentor, and I still have this mentor that I talk to on a regular basis from a leadership side. But, you know, when I was trying to do it from like the speaking gig perspective with that side hustle that I was doing, it compresses time. They can help see the blind spots and the things that are maybe coming that you don't know about, right? Because sometimes you get so tunnel vision and so focused that you don't see what else is going on around you or the speed bump that might be coming. So a mentor can help tell you, hey, watch out for this or be ready for that. That's what a mentor really can truly do, or just to bounce ideas off of as well. That's critical and that's important.
And I think that's what's beautiful about coaching and just mentorship in general. When you're able to have someone just bring their arm around you and really tell you about the path that's already been trod. Here's how you get from point A to point B, saving you the headaches, the frustrations, the mistakes. Mind you, you still got to do the work. You still got to be the one to walk the path and get there. But having a guided path, it's like me trying to drive across town without Google Maps, and I don't know the area. I can try to pay attention to the signs, but it's so much more efficient. So you save much more time, you save gas, you save the frustrations if you just have the navigation to tell you where to go. So
that totally time piece is so critical and so important to me. It's actually the thing that I value more than anything else is my time. Right? Time, we only have so much of it. There's 86,400 seconds in the course of a day. No one's found a way to have, more time than that. We all got the same. So we want to maximize the time that we have. So if somebody can help speed up a process or some project or something that you're working on, doesn't matter whether it's in real estate or something else that you're trying to do. If someone can help speed up that time for you, that's truly what it's all about. That's where there's value.
I totally agree. And if you're listening to this podcast, looking for what that may look like for you, of course, we have the council, particularly for real estate, if you're looking to really build a solid business. But the reality is it could be anyone that's just one step ahead of you. Even if in the smallest things within CashFlow Tribe, if you just can't connect with other people who have done the deal that you're looking to do, or be able to work on the mindset that you're currently struggling in, whatever the case may be, we absolutely have that community so that you can partner, get alongside with, and help move forward with your goals and your aspirations. So speaking of CashFlow Tribe, as a CEO, I got to ask this, and I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but we got some exciting things coming up, and I want to give you an opportunity to share what could be on the horizon for CashFlow Tribe in the future. What can CashFlow Tribe members get excited about, and even those who are interested in maybe aspiring to be a part of the community?
Well, you are putting me on the spot for sure. I can't reveal all the secrets and the plans that are coming up, but I give you a little bit of a taste. I think that there's huge opportunities for us as the world's starting to open up to kind of go diving deeper into events that we can do. There is obviously hybrid events that we're trying to start to get more into as well, to bring that in-person feel back, but also have that virtual aspect. We've been primarily virtual for a lot of the time this company's been existing, right?
Absolutely.
Daniel, you've been hosting a lot of these events, but getting in person, getting a chance to meet people is absolutely just so powerful. We've been doing a lot more of this in recent weeks, and we're going to continue to do that as we move forward. It's so cool just to connect with people that you've just seen behind a screen. Remember the first time you and I met, Daniel, I was like, oh, you're not as tall as I thought you were going to be.
Yep.
Right? Everybody always
don't be saying that on. Hey, don't say that too loud, okay?
Yeah. But I think that's something that's really powerful, is bringing people together and being able to connect. And then just seeing like the connections is really awesome as well. Also, I think coming from the CashFlow Tribe perspective, we've got some new tools and technology that's coming. I don't want to spoil it yet. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but we've got some new tools and tech that's going to make a world of difference as well, to help our members make life easier for them. And then as we look at and talk about council, there's obviously continued results that are coming from that group. we're also seeing more mentors starting to be added to help through that journey. I'm a mentor. I've joined in the last couple of weeks as well. So I'm having a lot of people starting to reach out, looking for help and assistance with building their business, how to be a leader, maybe starting to figure out how do they hire and bring the right talent in. That's been pretty cool. So we're diving deeper into a lot more of that, and more to come. But again, you got to stay tuned. You got to be part of the tribe to see what it's all about.
You got to stay tuned and keep it locked on CashFlow Tribe, because we will be coming out with some cool stuff. I'm excited for it, and I know our members will be also. Now, Chris, before I let you go, I just got a few more things I need to get out of you. So, there are people listening to this right now, and perhaps they might be inspired. Maybe they also feel like, hey, I have a curious mindset and I want to go out and start exploring some things. I've observed others and seen them do different things, whether it's in real estate or if it's public speaking or it's a podcast or what have you, and they want to go out and do it. What are some pieces of advice that you would give them that would really help them get that going?
Well, I think like you use the key word there, curious. Like people, if you are curious, ask questions. Find out if you see somebody doing something that you kind of are interested in and want to do, ask questions to figure out, hey, is that really for you or not? That next piece that's critical though is take action instead of just thinking about it. You can sit and think all day long, but 1 hour of action is going to outweigh 10 hours of just thinking and dreaming about it more than anything else. I think that is also critical. And then when you do take action, you're going to learn, do you like it? Do you not like it? I tried a lot of things over the years. I'm like, you know what? I think this might be a cool idea. And not until you try it do you know, that's not for me. But something else, you're like, oh, I really love this. I want to go all in on it. That's what it's truly all about. Like all in. That I have that inscribed on my wedding ring, because that's what I believe in terms of the lifestyle. Whatever you do, you got to go all in. That's the only way to really be truly successful.
Man, that's fantastic. You got to stay curious, take action, and go all in. I love that. I hope you're writing this down as you're listening to this. Now, speaking of this, what's something that you've learned about yourself, Chris, that if you could go back and talk to any version of Chris in the past and give him a piece of advice, what would you give him?
The younger Chris, he needs to hear that you need to be more patient. I am not as patient as I probably could or should be. It's probably at times it's kind of, maybe come back to bite me a little bit. But I like to move really, really fast. Everyone who's worked with me throughout my career, wherever pit stop I've made throughout my journey, CashFlow Tribe as a team, you guys know, love to move fast. But sometimes you got to be patient. So you got to take a look at what's going on and realize, hey, sometimes maybe you don't got to push as hard. There might be an opportunity to kind of slow it down a little bit. Other ways you can, put your pedal to the metal and go on the gas, no problem. But you got to pick your spots real well and be patient. Because again, there's that risk of trying to do too much, maybe burning other people out or frustrating them. So I would say be patient. That's critical. Especially, like, I even think about like investments, right? If you're doing investments, don't just think that you're going to get the quick return right away. Because there were times I did that. I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to get money right away from this investment. And then you're frustrated and upset. And then you kind of pull the trigger when you shouldn't. Like you just waited a little bit more. That could be a lifesaver or a game changer for you.
I love it. And speaking of all in, would you say that because you like to go all in, maybe that's why patience is something people need to be aware of? Or would you say that's just something that is more uniquely Chris?
Well, my favorite game of all time is poker. Right. I'm a big believer in poker. Like you could talk other games that might be out there, like strategy games. People talk about chess and checkers and all that. Right. I talk a lot about poker and I believe in poker. You got to go all in because you just got to commit is the way I look at it. And yeah, maybe that's part of why the patience piece is there. There's something about just going all in that actually forces you to take action and maybe puts other people into a spot where they also are going to take action depending on what you're trying to do. So I think it's a powerful tool to use, but yeah, sometimes you're going to lose a hand, right? Not, and that might not be what you're looking for, but ultimately that's what's going to happen is sometimes you're going to lose, but more often than not, you might win. So you might as well just go for it.
Absolutely. Now, CashFlow Tribe has 4 core values. For those who don't know, it's community, results, impact, and transparency. So Chris, like out of those 4, what would you say stands out the most to you?
Well, I think I said it earlier when I talked about why I joined is about impact. The impact that we can have. Like what's been so cool since I've joined CashFlow Tribe, attending events, training sessions, just talking to members, is hearing their stories and that the impact that one CashFlow Tribe has had on them, but the impact that they're having in their own lives and their own community. There are amazing stories that I have heard from people about what they want to do or what they have done. guy like TJ Ainsborough and what he's been able to do and change his life within the course of a year. People being so educated and knowledgeable, like, Catherine O'Neill and what she's been able to do and getting into the private lending. Like, there's powerful stories that are happening within this community that is just, it shows that there's an impact here. So to me, that is the core value, what it's really truly all about.
That's phenomenal. I definitely second that. Making the impact and hearing those stories from our CashFlow Tribe members, it honestly is something that money can't buy, which is phenomenal. Now, Chris, you've lent your skills and your knowledge and your expertise to the CashFlow Tribe community in various ways, whether it's teaching leadership, teaching hiring, teaching scaling a business, or whatever the case may be. Now, there are some people who may want to reach out to you and connect with you. What would be the best way for people to reach out if they have any questions about CashFlow Tribe or just about you in particular?
Well, a few different ways that they can do it. They can send me an email. I'll put it out here for everybody. Chris@cashflowtribe.com. It's really easy. The other option is that they can access me through social media. Made it super easy. It's at Chris Hanna Show, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. It's at Chris Hanna Show because that's the name of my weekly podcast as well, where I'm helping people achieve more in terms of their impact, their productivity, and their performance. So those are some of the ways that they can connect with me, or just be on CashFlow Tribe. And then you can also connect with me there as well. Just, direct message me and talk, or come talk to me at an event like many members do.
Absolutely, man. Join CashFlow Tribe. That is the easiest and the fastest way to get access to Chris as he continues to move this community forward as the CEO. And so this has been Zero to Hero, how everyday Canadians are getting ahead with real estate. So be sure, if you have listened to this podcast and you're still hearing my voice at this point, take action on what you've learned today. And we'll see you on the next episode.